What's funny about this, and this is a paid request for Guillermo, thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box. It could be any movie review, re-review, random topic, tier list, ranking, video game playthrough, whatever the case may be. I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. As I was saying before, Guillermo had me request a review for another film called Blue Hour, The Disappearance of Nick Brandith. And I was saying in that review how it's funny, that film came out 2023 and feels very similar to this film, which came out 2024, because they're both films about a man, a woman, and a camera person investigating the disappearance. The lead is a lady who's the daughter of a missing parent. They're making the documentary to search for this missing parent. There's other people who have disappeared. That's usually in this one location. In that film, the lady's dad disappeared in the woods. Here, the lady's mom disappeared, drowned into this water. And her, the guy, and the camera person investigate where they're dealing with cops and they're interviewing people, and weird shenanigans happens, and it gets convoluted and a bit confusing, just like the other film did. And instead of, in that film, there's a door in the woods and you go to another dimension. Here, if you get dragged into the water, you go into, I guess, like a cave. And then the title of the movie fits with the ending of the movie, I'll put it that way. I guess another difference is that this is an Australian film. And the two characters are named Diane and Osmond. Diane is this paranormal investigator who is looking into the disappearance of her mom. Osmond, I guess, was an actor, but he's, I forget what reason, joining this lady. I want to say it's the niece Amy that's the camera person. This is one of those movies, Water Horse. And no, I know there's another film called Water Horse, which is like more of like a kid fantasy movie. This is a different one. This is more of trying to be a fate documentary. Which I've said before, there are films of that I do enjoy. I remember like there's Population Zero, which I liked. There's, Fury of the Demon I thought was okay. Oh God, I just had it. Savage Land. That's the one I was thinking about in the other review that I couldn't remember. Savage Land, I did like. I thought that was pretty good. Butterfly Kisses I liked. The Tunnel I liked. Either they try to be fake documentaries or they try to be fake documentaries and they use some footage throughout the film. Blue Hour, which is the last review I did, I didn't care for. This I probably liked even less. Because Blue Hour I thought was a bit convoluted. This one, something about this film, I just stopped caring. I stopped giving a shit. It was so fucking boring and tedious. And it's like trying to throw all these ideas where they did a photo of them dead and they're freaked out about it. Then this mom and son have this little horse statue that moved. So they try to look at it, but it hasn't moved. There's been disappearances. There was this thing called the Carrington Falls incident, where by a waterfall, this guy stabbed someone. And they talked to the guy who tried to help out, who's in like an arm cast. And maybe they tried to explain it, but I so didn't give a fuck. I'm like, who is that guy? Why did he try to stab this person? And why did they kill this person? Why was that guy going crazy? And what is up with these fucking symbols? And they talked to this little girl Clara. They talked to her parents. The girl had gone under. She survived. The girl won't say anything. Then she shows these pictures to the lead girl, and she goes, "What are these pictures?" And, "Do you know, have you ever seen my mom? Have you seen this lady? Have you seen this boy?" They did Wayne's World. A better movie. So then they leave, then they talk about shit, then they come back, and the little girl's missing. And the cops think the lead girl, Diane, she had something to do with it. And then they try to talk to this other guy they talked before, but he's disappeared, and they looked at this bathtub, and there's only water in there. So the idea is like the guy tried to take a bath, and whatever pulled him through the bathtub, did he become the tub? Is he the table? I am the table. No, they're the table. I don't fucking know, and I don't fucking care. I don't give a shit what happened. This is fucking boring. It was slow moving. The characters were not interested at all. Just like the last one, you don't really get to know much about the characters. They don't really have much personality. You know what one of the things that made me like The Tunnel? The guy who's the cameraman, he actually had a personality. He was a real cameraman. He actually did news and stuff in Australia. So another Australian found fake documentary horror film. But like he's like goofing and talking and telling about old stories of being a cameraman and making jokes and fun remarks, and that's what helps you get into the characters. I'm not saying you need to take 20 minutes to know their backstory of what they were doing when they were a kid, or how many times they pissed their pants, or how many times they took a dump in the ditch, or how many times they went to fucking Disneyland. I just want a little something. Give me a little bit. And, it didn't really give me anything with the characters. So they're just boring to watch. Definitely no Mulder and Scully or any other, anything of that nature. But yeah, the little girl's now missing, and the cops think she had something to do with it. And this other guy's missing, and their two leads go to this mine, and there's something about a water curse, and they hear or see something in the mine, and they're chased. And then at one point, they're somewhere, and someone comes in, and it looks like the guy Osmond's doppelganger, only he looks like a much more hairy bum. And then you never see him again, and it's like, what was the deal with that? Is he from another dimension? Is he from the past, and this is how this guy will be in the future? I don't fucking know. And then there's this one picture that made me laugh where they show like a guy with a six-pack, not a beer, but like on his stomach, and he has like a horse head. I don't know if he was like half man, half horse, all six-pack, or he was wearing a horse mask and he likes to, I don't know, maybe he likes those shows in fucking Tijuana or whatever, and he thought it was a donkey. I don't fucking know. Eventually, they leave the camera lady behind, which, I mean, just good for her. She's one of the few that survived. And the two leads go into the water. They get pulled in. They're in a cave. And they hear something. The guy turns and sees a fucking CGI horse with like white eyes, whatever. But it's like for 10 seconds you see a CGI horse, I guess the water horse, demon, whatever the fuck it is, kind of go around the corner, and the guy runs. The girl, I just lost her glasses. Maybe she's fucking Velma from Scooby-Doo, and this is what happened to her. And she's like laughing. But then she saw the horse. She just looked over here. It's like, and then they fucking camera falls, and we hear that they never found again. Whether they become the dead people that was in the picture they got at the beginning, whether the guy becomes a fucking doppelganger, or why there's a doppelganger. Are all the other dead bodies around here? And then you have this elder of the Aborigines that talks about how the land, when you affect the land fights back. Because at the beginning you saw him about how there's pollution and stuff, and then how the land gave, you know, hurricanes and shit. And I'm like, so okay, what the fuck does that have to do with kidnapping people and either killing them, or what the fuck? Doppelgangers? And I don't know what the fuck happened. And you know what? I don't give a shit. It was boring. It wasn't scary. It wasn't creepy. The story was not involving or engaging in the slightest. Your lead characters are boring as shit. You don't really get to know much about them. The review of the horse was fucking goofy and silly. It's a fucking CGI horse. If it was a white horse, I would think Rob Zombie made it. From Halloween 2. His Halloween 2. So yeah, I didn't give a fuck about what was happening. I didn't give a fuck what was going on. Fuck this goddamn movie, you know. Like Blue Hour, I didn't care for. This one for some reason made me more mad. Because it seemed even more confusing. And more of a stupid review of an ending. At least in Blue Hour, when they go in, at least she sees her dad, and her dad's obviously been affected by something, and here it was just, they stupidly decide to get themselves pulled in, and then they stupidly fucking die, which is their own damn fault, so I don't feel sorry for them. It's your own goddamn fault. And then the movie's over, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. So, there you go. Sorry to Guillermo. But I do have 2 more of his found footage, the making of the Patterson Project, which is it's not about the actual Patterson Bigfoot. They just reference it. It's like more of like a comedy. And then Strange Harvest, which I'm trying, I think, I know it's available to rent. I'm trying to find it by other means, my usual places I looked. It hasn't popped up on there yet. I may eventually just have to bite the bullet and rent it, but we'll see how it goes. But it does look intriguing, I will say. So with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.